My favourite chocolatier, Thomas, is here to make me a chocolate cake. I never say no to chocolate cake, Thomas.
Good to hear. This one's actually a little bit of a twist to it.
Okay.
I don't bake it at all.
Wow, all
so
right.
this is a no-bake chocolate cake.
I think people at home are going to like the idea. Any excuse for shortcuts, but maximum flavour. So let's get into it.
It's all about the chocolate, of course. So we actually have two types of chocolate that we're using as a base for this chocolate cake. So milk chocolate and our 70% excellence dark chocolate as well. So we just gently melt them together. And the good thing as well with induction stoves, just very, very gently, direct on the stove top as well.
Yeah. Let's talk about melting chocolate. We're
Yes.
going to be doing it directly into the pot. But there's another way of doing it too.
Of course, like a traditional way of melting chocolate is over a bain-marie, which is like a water bath. But the only thing that you really need to be careful of when there's water involved with chocolate is that the water is not boiling and there's no steam rolling in. So that's why induction is actually quite clever.
Yeah. What are you doing over there, Thomas?
So I have some butter that we're just going to whip up and make it nice and light. And then we just cream together some butter, a pinch of salt, and just some pure icing sugar as well.
Oh, this sounds great.
There we go. I just put a tiny little pinch of salt in here as well. Like chocolate actually loves a little bit of salt. It seasons the chocolate and actually makes it almost more chocolatey.
And when it's almost melted, I like to just turn the heat off and let it finish melting with the residual heat in there, just so we don't get that harsh heat.
Now in here, we're just putting pure icing sugar.
Okay.
And then we really sort of want to whisk this quite a bit, just to
Okay.
bring a bit of air into it. Just so we don't end up with too dense a mixture when we have our no-bake chocolate cake.
No-bake chocolate cake. So I'm going to take this chocolate off the heat and just finish giving that a mix.
Okay, and once that's all melted, we can just set that aside, just to cool off a little bit. And then there's a couple of different ways. You can actually layer the biscuits in whole. I got two types of biscuits for this case. So if I could get you to just sort of make large chunks, maybe like a third of a biscuit. So we still want to see the texture of the biscuits after as well.
Yes. What type of biscuits have you got here?
Well, I really love spiced sort of speculoos cookies, a rich buttery sort of shortbread, and then a spiced cookie. But it's really up to you. Like you can put chocolate ripple biscuits in it, or anything that you like.
All right, well, we'll just finish breaking these up and we can mix the whole thing together.
Sounds good. Okay, that's nice and light now, so we're ready to bring it all together.
Okay.
So chocolate goes in here first.
Yes, I'll do the honours.
Wonderful.
Ooh, glossy goodness.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
So mix that in, and then we put the whipped cream straight in as well.
Just making sure everything's roughly the same temperature, just so the chocolate doesn't freak out.
Exactly, certainly helps. Like ice cold cream is a bit of a challenge.
Yes.
So as you can see, it's sort of almost like a ganache meets buttercream meets chocolate mousse almost,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
So we first, to actually then finish off our cake,
Yeah.
I take a little bit of this mixture and then we're gonna mask the outside of it once it comes out of the fridge. So just a little bit.
Yep.
So there we go, that's probably enough. And then we can go in with our selection of biscuits, but of course you can actually put in whatever you like. You can put any sort of nuts or...
Oh, 2 biscuits. Oh,
That's all
3
good.
biscuits I missed
That's
there.
all fine as well.
Chop those up. And then the other bickies.
Other biscuits. Okay, and then I always like for a little bit of colour, a little pistachio is actually beautiful as well.
Yep.
And of course it absolutely tastes amazing as well. So whole pistachios.
Great combination. Any nut with chocolate.
And you know,
So good. And the last of the bickies that I forgot to do.
just mix it all into one big bowl.
Yep.
And off we go.
Great. So we're going to place that into a loaf tin, a little bit of baking paper on the base of it. It goes into the fridge and we're just going to wait for it to completely chill and set.
Probably about 4 hours in the fridge and we're good to go.
Great. Thomas, our no-bake chocolate cake is out of the fridge.
perfectly set. So we're ready to go. Now, would you like to try a slice?
Yes, please.
So see, and this is why it's important, why we line this with baking paper, so it's easy to come out.
So much
just
easy.
Peel this back, and then you can finish this any way you like. So, but that's why we sort of saved a little bit of that mixture as well, so we can mask the outside to pretty it up a little bit. But then it's always nice to have a little bit something fresh, so maybe a couple of strawberries on top would be brilliant.
Sure, I can do that for you.
So you can just cut them into small little slivers, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
And I'll just use some of this mixture that we saved and just mask the outside.
This is a type of cake that I would love in summer because it's so chilled and cold, but also just that slight richness from the chocolate. And this is a dessert where you don't cut corners, you use good quality chocolate.
I think it always makes a massive difference. Like even if you just make a baked cake or anything, if you actually use a quality chocolate.
Hey, you don't need a lot of ingredients when you've got good quality chocolate. You let the chocolate speak for itself.
Absolutely.
Is that enough strawberries?
I love it. Okay. Well done.
And we've got this cold chocolate cake, but when it comes to strawberries, it's a good idea to bring them out of the fridge an hour or two before serving them so you really get the full flavour of the strawberry.
Absolutely. If you would like to pop that straight on top.
Just in the centre like that?
Beautiful. And then I think I might just going to microplane a little bit more chocolate over the top, a little bit of icing sugar, and I think this is looking fairly festive. Perfect amount, look at that. A little bit of icing sugar. And that sort of actually melts onto the strawberries as well and almost makes like a marinated strawberry.
Yes.
So beautiful.
Makes them sweeter than they already are.
Exactly.
Ah, snowing Lindt chocolate. We love that. That is a pretty sensational cake. The fact that you can make a chocolate cake without even turning the oven on is, well, that's the appeal just there.
Absolutely.
I love that. I can't wait to make that for my friends. Thanks, Thomas.
Enjoy.